Guys, welcome to episode 3 of Rogue Minute. Now, today I wanted to talk about the length of games as well as grinding currency and how I think this just gets pretty boring and kind of gets in the way of me actually wanting to continue playing some of these games. Now, in terms of the roguelikes, I think roguelikes can be a lot of fun without having, grinding so much currency be a necessity to sort of make progress. I want to start with the length of games, though. I think a lot of these games are just asking too much. I don't think every roguelike out there needs to be 1,000 hours asking you to grind this insane amount of currency to fully max out a passive skill tree or to infinitely grind currency or gear. Um, I don't know. Just don't think all these games benefit from having this really, really long grind in them. I think I'd stand by my review of Nordic Ashes. I still think it's a really, really great game. I think it's like a fully featured 1.0 type of experience. But after like 60 to 70 hours, maybe about 80 hours, I think now we've just hit a wall where I feel like I can't go up the Ragnarok tiers without grinding like 200 or 300 more leaves, and it's just such a slow grind at this point. Starting to feel repetitive when I want to be taking the the high Ragnarok difficulty levels with my character of choice. Instead, I feel like I have to take every character through the story mode just to grind more leaves more efficiently, and it's gotten a bit boring after 70, 80 hours, which I guess maybe that's fine for that amount of time. I did get a lot of hours out of it, so there's no complaints here about my enjoyment of the actual game. But at this point, I don't feel compelled to continue because I feel like I've hit a grind wall, and this is like a progression wall, and this is a big problem in some of these games, some of these roguelikes. You expect me to play for hundreds or potentially 1,000+ hours in your game, but the progression has to feel on point. Now I have to feel like I'm getting somewhere. I I don't want to feel like I have to grind your currency over and over again just to make small passive upgrade improvements. It gets boring, unfortunately. I don't think all these games need to be 1,000 hours. I think maybe 50 hours tops for grinding out a passive skill tree. I don't know. I think um I think the games with loot in them do hold me personally for a bit longer. I like loot games. I like grinding loot. I like building out my character that way. I find that to be fun. Uh, even even with that said, sometimes the RNG can just get pretty rough, and that kind of turns you off as well. I think Death Must Die is an interesting example. I think the RNG in that is pretty heavy, especially late game when you're really looking for certain pieces with certain rolls on it. Man, you can go run after run after run without seeing a single piece that you need. That can be a real turn off as well. But that also does give you that aha or hell yeah kind of moment when you actually do find the piece that you're looking for. So that can feel good, but if you if it takes too long to get to that point, you can just walk away and be frustrated. I think, yeah, I think roguelikes don't need to have this huge, long 1,000 hour tail. I don't know why that's sort of become. It feels like that's becoming the standard, and I don't think that's necessary for a game to be good. I think games get. I think the best games that get over 1,000 hours playtime. I don't think they're originally designed with that in mind necessarily. Um, Obviously, replayability, sure, but 1,000 hours is something else. That is a proper grind kind of game. But I think a great example in this kind of space is Balatro. I think it just does it so well. Something about Balatro, you never feel it like you hit a grind wall where I have to stop and grind a whole bunch of currency to make more progress. In that game, if you just want to beat a run and maybe try a few different decks, you can probably get 10 to 20 hours playtime and feel satisfied. If you want to unlock all the decks and all the jokers and stuff like that, you can get up to 100. 100 hours of grind there and have a lot of fun in that. If you're one of the crazy people who you want to take every single deck up through orange tier difficulty, whatever the highest one is, and you want to do all the challenges, unlock absolutely everything, then it's up to 1,000 plus hours. And but that game does it so well. It doesn't force you into any of those. It feels more natural, the progression through that game. And I don't know, that game just absolutely nailed progression and that feeling of it slowly opening up the more you play. I think Blucher is one of those games you can just easily like hop back in after after a month or so of not playing. You can easily just boot it up and have, just one more run, and then all of a sudden 5 hours is gone and you're back into it. It's just such a beautifully designed game. But yeah, Death Must Die is one of those examples. It's still in early access though, so I'm not too hard on it. I think it's doing a lot of things right here in Act 2. There's definitely some issues with that game. I think the issues with that game are more to do with like I really need some sorting features in my stash now. You've given us extra stash space, which is great. And I have all this gear, but man, there's so much of it in there, and there's no way to sort any of it. It's a pain in the butt. Um, but yeah, I think aiming for that 20 to 50 hour range for a roguelike, I think is a good place to start. Obviously, having replayability systems in there is nice for those people who want it. But I don't think you should hit a grind wall in a roguelike. I just don't think that's fun. I think that's what turns me off the most and kind of makes it boring. The length of games in general, though, a lot of games are just so bloated now. Even big AAA games are asking, hundreds of hours of your time, uh, with these really big but boring open worlds. Um, Assassin's Creed, or, the Ubisoft formula where it's just sort of rinse and repeat over this huge, huge map. I think something like Breath of the Wild did exploration really well, where it felt more natural, and the progression didn't feel as limited. The progression there was more limited by your knowledge of the game systems, and once you figured out some of the game systems, the exploration really opened up. It was really, really, really well done. But that's obviously Nintendo with dozens of years of experience in the industry. So that's a whole other thing. But I don't know. I don't feel like I don't feel like I should have to hit a grind wall in these games. I don't think that's fun. Let me know in a comment down below if you agree, if you think I'm crazy on this one. Um, I'd also like to know if you guys are interested in other types of games showing up on this channel, or if you'd prefer this to be just a roguelike only sort of channel. I'm interested in doing some loot games. There's a new game coming out in a couple of weeks called The First Descendant, which I'm interested in covering, but just not sure if you guys on this particular channel would like to see that as long with roguelike content for loot based games. The other game I enjoy playing is Destiny 2, so I don't know if that's something you're interested in as well. Let me know with a comment down below. I'm happy to keep channels separate and do a loot channel. It's totally cool with me either way. But yeah, let me know. I'd like to hear the feedback. And if there are any other roguelikes specifically you'd like to see covered on this channel at the moment, please let me know with a comment down below as well. That'd be awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Rogue Minute episode 3. I hope you guys have an awesome one. Thanks very much for tuning in. Hit like, hit subscribe. Thank you very much. Have a good day.